What's up, YouTube? So I'm back with you again finally for another Whiskies of the Galaxy. I was gone for quite a few days out of town there, which is why you haven't seen a video from me for one of these, because I didn't take this with me. But I'm finally back, so we're quite a few days behind. I think we ended on day 7. So we're gonna go ahead and start with day 8, and we'll keep doing this as we can to get through the full calendar, or advent calendar. But we'll go ahead and open this up and see what it brings. So pull out the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Scroll through here. So yep, so we did day 7. So there's 8. So that's where we are. Go ahead and pop open 8. All right, so 8 is going to be a whiskey product of the USA. Alcohol by volume is 45%. Go ahead and crack this open. See what it smells like. That actually smells really good. I'm really interested in what this one's gonna be and how it's gonna taste. So in the smell of it, I feel like I can almost pick up a hint of cinnamon. We'll pour it into the glass here and see if I can pick up any better out of this glass. Sometimes once it is able to get a little more air around it, you can pick up some better smells. Yeah, I'm wondering if there's cinnamon in it. I'm still kind of getting that smell a little bit. We'll go ahead and give it a taste and see what it's like. Very good. Definitely has quite an intense warming sensation that comes back. That is very good. All right, so we'll open this up to day 8 and see what it says. So Flaviar Ranch Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Tasting notes that they have are vanilla, oak, cherry, bread, cranberry, and brown sugar. And then over here it says spicy and grain. So brown sugar might have actually been that smell I was picking up on instead of cinnamon. But we'll go ahead and we'll scan this QR code at the bottom and see what they say about it. All right, so Flaviar Ranch Straight Bourbon Whiskey rated a 7.9 out of 10 with 98 total votes. A 750 milliliter bottle is going to run you $46.99 on the Flaviar website. So there's our Flaviar Spiral, which we already talked about. So here's the about. It says, a true estate bourbon made with 4 grains and profound love of land. Eastern foothills of Sierra Nevada mountains sits fertile valley fed by a continuous flow of melted snow water filtering through the bedrock. The Frey family has been farming this land since 1953. Fifth generation farmer Colby Frey saw grain and pure water and decided that whiskey was a good bet. He started experimenting with distilling spirits in 2006. Nevada relaxed regulations in 2010, opening the door to commercial distillation. Flaviar Ranch Whiskey Farm opened in 2014, boasting a beautiful Wyndham still. Flaviar Ranch Straight Bourbon Whiskey just won the 2020 Whiskies of the World Gold Medal. It is a true estate operation with everything done on site from field to bottle. This is a 4-grain bourbon, and they raise their own non-GMO corn, winter rye, winter wheat, and 2-row barley. It's continuously distilled in a 3-tower Wyndham setup and aged for 4 years in new oak. There is zero chill filtration and cut to proof with the amazing snow melt water to serve at 45% ABV. So Doug Dogson's Smartass Corner. This is whiskey or whiskey, depending like the spelling of it, which we've already discussed. So here's a new one. Bourbon only needs to be placed in a new oak container for a few seconds to be called bourbon. Fresh from the still and unaged bourbon is called a white dog. Recently, many of the large distillers have started packaging this harsh, clear grain spirit for sale. I actually believe I have a white dog by Buffalo Trace. I'll go check my liquor cabinet after this and we'll see. It says, remember that iconic poster from World War II? Actually, we've already talked about this one, where the distilleries started to distill fuel alcohol and ferment penicillin. So bourbon must be made from a grain mixture that is at least 51% corn. Pretty sure we've already discussed that one. Straight bourbon must be matured for at least 2 years. If a bottle has no age statements, it's at least 4 years. Bourbons have a very prominent notes of vanilla, as American white oak is naturally high in vanillins. And back to the beginning. So that's about it for the review on the website. As for this bourbon, I'm trying to remember. I need to write this down on where I have ranked everything because I'm starting to forget now, especially with having those days off there in between due to being out of town. So let me look back. I believe I put the Omar, the Penelope bourbon, the Noble Oak. No, sorry. The Penelope, the Noble Oak, and the Catoctin Creek were my top 3. I think with Penelope being the number 1, if I remember correctly. So honestly, I would probably still keep Penelope as number 1. Put this as number 2 with a tie between the Catoctin Creek and the Noble Oak for number 3. Then number 4, I believe, was the Starward, or it could have been the Omar as number 4. I'll have to look back in my video. And like I said, I need to write this down on my ranking so I can keep a continuous run of where I'm placing everything. I believe the number 4 was Omar. Number 5 was the Starward. Number 6 would have been the Wyoming. And number 7 was the Israeli Scotch Milk and Honey. So yep, because I have a tie there, so that's 8 total. So I believe that's my order. So Penelope number 1, this Frey is number 2, number 3 tie between Noble Oak and Catoctin Creek, number 4 being the Omar, number 5 being the Starward, number 6 being the Wyoming, and number 7 being the Milk and Honey. So I'm gonna go check my liquor cabinet real quick off of that Doug Dogson's note on White Dog and see if I have one. I'll be right back. And back with you. So I do. By Buffalo Trace, White Dog, mash number 1. As you can see, still unopened, but it says corn rye malted barley recipe, 62.5% alcohol by volume, 125 proof. So I've still yet to actually open this, but it's by Buffalo Trace. So it's actually cool to see a Doug Dogson's note about White Dog and how distilleries are now making these. I just happened to see this in a liquor store one day. It's a 375 milliliter. And so I was like, you know what? I like Buffalo Trace. I'm going to give it a try. And I still haven't opened it, as with a lot of my bottles in my liquor cabinet, honestly. I very much enjoy whiskey, bourbon, and scotch. However, I don't drink all that much, like all that often, I guess. So I have numerous amounts of bottles that are very expensive bottles that are still just sitting unopened that I'm kind of waiting on a special occasion to crack open and enjoy with family and friends. I do have my standard go-tos of what I will drink when I do want to have a drink with dinner or anything like that. But I tend to not drink all that often, mainly when I'm just socially around family and friends, or now I'm doing this because of the Advent calendar. So having a glass a day or night, but I would say this is probably the most I've drank in consecutive amount of days, although I took a break there in a long time. So since I was in my early 20s. But if you got any questions about this, or if you've had this Frey Ranch bourbon, let me know what you thought about it, or any of the other ones we've discussed. Let me know what you thought about them. I want to see how my ranking kind of stacks up to yours, if you've had any of them, and what you would say is better than the other. But that's about it for this video. Like I said, if you got any questions, go ahead and leave them down in the comments below. And as always, stay safe out there, keep the rubber side down, and I'll see you on the road. Bandit out.